take a moment and let your breath settle. In this quiet space, we begin with the sound of rain. Rain that falls not in a hurry, but with patience. Each drop finds its way down, touching leaves, branches, and soil. Beneath the surface, a hidden world slowly comes to life. Roots spread quietly through the earth, branching in every direction. They wait, not passively, but with purpose. As water reaches the ground, the soil opens its pores. Moisture sinks downward, guided by gravity and time. And there, the roots begin their work. They absorb the water, holding it gently within the ground. This is balance practiced over centuries. Nothing rushes, nothing is wasted. Each root acts like a channel, slowing the movement of water. The soil remains firm, stable, alive. Floods are delayed, sometimes prevented. In healthy forests, rain is not an enemy. It is a guest, welcomed, absorbed, understood. This system works best when left undisturbed. But over time, change arrives. Trees are removed one by one. The roots that once held the earth begin to disappear. What remains is exposed soil. Rain still falls, but now the ground responds differently. Water no longer pauses. It moves faster, spreading across the surface. Without roots, nothing holds it back. Streams swell, rivers rise. What was once absorbed is now carried away. Soil, branches, fragments of land, even memories of the forest. This is not sudden. It is the result of many small changes, changes that often go unnoticed until the water arrives all at once. Floods are not only about rain, they are about what remains to receive it. In forests that stand intact, the land listens. In land left bare, the water speaks louder, and its message is force. This story is not meant to alarm. It is meant to explain, to remind us how quietly nature works, and how easily balance can be lost. Yet balance can also return. When roots grow back, when soil is allowed to heal, when water is welcomed again, not resisted. For now, take a breath. Let the image of roots and rain settle in your mind, and remember, the quiet systems beneath our feet are always listening. Rain falls across the forest in a slow and consistent rhythm, touching leaves, branches, and soil without urgency, as if time itself has decided to move more gently. The sound of water meeting the ground spreads evenly across the land, steady and patient. In a healthy forest, this moment is familiar. It has happened countless times before, and each time the land responds in the same quiet way. Beneath the surface, far below what the eyes can see, a vast network of roots extends in every direction. These roots are alive, branching outward and downward, gripping the soil and filling the earth with structure. As rainwater reaches the ground, it does not rush away. It enters the soil slowly, guided by gravity and by the natural spaces formed between grains of earth. Water moves downward and sideways, spreading gently until it meets the roots waiting below. Each root absorbs moisture in small amounts, holding it within the ground instead of allowing it to flow freely across the surface. This process happens continuously and silently. There is no resistance, no conflict, only cooperation between water, soil, and living systems that have evolved together over long periods of time. The forest floor remains stable, the soil stays where it is. What could have become sudden movement instead becomes stored balance, released slowly and safely. This is not coincidence. It is the result of layers built year after year through growth, decay, and renewal. In this environment, rain is not a threat. It is part of a cycle that sustains life. Water that enters the soil today may nourish trees tomorrow, feed streams days later, and support ecosystems far beyond the place where it first fell. Everything moves, but nothing moves too fast. As time passes, forests naturally change, but when their structure remains intact, their ability to manage water remains strong. Roots interlock with soil. Organic matter increases absorption. The ground itself becomes a living sponge. Even heavy rainfall is softened long before it reaches rivers and lowlands. This balance depends entirely on what exists beneath the surface. When trees are removed, the change is not always immediate to the eye. The land may still appear solid, the soil may still look dry, yet below ground, something essential has already been lost. Roots begin to decay. Channels that once guided water inward collapse. Soil becomes lighter, less connected, and more vulnerable to movement. When rain falls again, it meets a surface that no longer knows how to receive it. Water reaches the ground and finds fewer paths inward. Instead of sinking, it spreads outward. Instead of slowing, it accelerates. The surface becomes a temporary channel, carrying water toward the lowest points with increasing speed. Streams respond faster, rivers rise sooner. What once took days to accumulate now happens in hours. This change is not caused by greater rainfall, but by land that has lost its ability to hold water. Flooding, in this sense, is not a sudden disaster. It is the visible result of many quiet changes. Each removed tree and each lost root system contributes slowly until the land can no longer manage the water it receives. Where forests remain intact, rainfall is distributed across time. Where they do not, rainfall is compressed into moments of force. The difference lies beneath the surface, where roots either exist or they do not. Water itself does not change. Gravity does not change. What changes is the land's response. Without roots, soil loses its grip. Without structure, the ground becomes temporary, easily reshaped by movement. As water flows across exposed land, it carries soil with it. Fine particles lift first, followed by heavier fragments. Over time, the land grows thinner, less fertile, and less capable of recovery. What is lost upstream slowly accumulates downstream. This process continues whether it is noticed or not. It happens during light rain and heavy rain alike. It happens quietly, often far from where its effects will later be felt. When flooding occurs, attention often focuses on the water itself, yet the water is only the messenger. The true cause is written in the ground, in what was removed long before the rain arrived. Forests do not prevent rain, they shape its journey. They transform sudden movement into gradual flow, force into function, and excess into reserve. Where roots spread wide and deep, water slows and settles. Where they are absent, water moves unchecked. This contrast defines the difference between stability and disruption, between absorption and overflow. Understanding this relationship requires no alarm, only awareness. The land responds exactly as it is structured to respond. What appears on the surface is simply the result of what remains below.